Good day, everybody. This is Q, Gardening Warrior Q, and today we are going to set up one of our vermicompost container gardens. Now, what this is, if you hear my daughter in the background, that's Essie. And she's not listening to anything. That's just stuff in her head. So the first thing we start with is some nice, moist soil. You want it to be like a brownie mix. You want it to hold together, but no water to come out. So this is perfect. As you can see, there's worms already in here. Lots of worms. Very hungry worms. Now, this is just a biodegradable egg crate that I use for their bedding. But we're going to plant things in here. So what I've done, first off, you want to dig a hole. And then you take, I like to use the skinnier containers. And I've used my soldering iron to put some really big holes in there. This is where you're going to water. This is the only place you're going to water in this container. And you want the holes nice and big if you've got worms that want to crawl in and out of there. So that's what I've done. And they want to go in the hole. Oh, goodness. Worms are kind of like kids. You never know what they're going to do. Or when they're going to do it. So what you want to do is you want to literally plant your watering container into the bucket of soil. And then I like to put the, like I said, this is just their bedding. And I'm going to be planting seeds in here. So I don't want this in there. There's actually another layer. This is the second layer of egg crate. So there's more deeper in there that they've already eaten through. And I'm going to take the excess out because, like I said, I'm going to be starting seeds in here. So whatever is not, degraded, I'm going to take out and put to the side. Any big pieces. Nice and mush down there. There's another big piece. We want that out. She knows it's time for her to have music time. So that's why she's getting a little cranky over there. Never discount an autistic child. My more severely autistic child, I have 3, can tell time quite well. And that's why she's getting upset. Because it's her music time and mommy's got the phone. So that's nice and buried in there. And next I'm going to feed the worms. So what I've done is I had some romaine lettuce that was a little frozen on the outer leaves. So I blended that up in my Ninja with some spring water. And we're just going to pour a little bit of this in there because we still need to put water in there. And I like to use a funnel because it gets kind of messy. And you don't want this on the outside soil. Those wormies are going to love that. Alright, now we're going to get some more spring water. Alright, adding this spring water is going to help that mix go down. And it's going to water your container. You might need to get something and push it through, but that's fine too. And you just want to let that drip. I've got a large funnel. There we go. And that's going to go down there and it's going to add nutrients to your soil. And it's going to feed the worms. Now, in case you're wondering, because you obviously see this is in my bedroom, what's going to happen when this water goes through and starts draining. This is just a $5 boot tray from Walmart.com underneath here. And what it does is the water, there's drainage holes here. And drainage holes on the sides. Sorry about that. And that water is going to drain into this pan. After it does that, I usually let it sit there, and in a few days, after this has dried up a little more, after the container has dried up a little more, I will have someone help me. We'll lift this bin up, use this water to water this container. Like I said, you never want to put, what you don't want to do is you don't want to have any of this food mix on your soil, because that will cause you to get fungus, and you don't want that. As you can see, I already have some little worm cocoons. This soil has been amended, but what it has in it is worm castings. 1 part worm castings to 8 parts of soil. You, especially when you're starting little seedlings, you want them to be able to, the water to drain well. And you cannot do that with worm castings, unless it's mixed with the soil. So let me show you what happens when you empty all your bins and sort out your worm castings. This is my bucket of worm castings. You notice it has some toilet paper and paper towel rolls. That's just to help with alleviate some of the moisture, because this is very thick. It's pure worm castings. See that? Yeah, that's pure worm castings. I harvested the worm castings from all my containers, and you don't want that. You see how thick that is? You don't want just that in your soil when you are gardening. It's great to add as an amendment, but you do not want just worm castings. So what I'm going to do is put that over there, because those soak up the excess soil. I mean the excess water in the worm castings, and that will help it dry out. But it also adds, just some carbon, so that when I go to use this, it'll be nice and good. It'll be fresh. It'll be wonderful. And yes, I keep them in my bathroom. Don't ask. Don't judge me. All right. So back to our container. All right. Now, you know it has enough water when it starts draining out the drain holes, which is not started to do yet. But you also don't want it too damp. Like I said, we're starting seedlings in here. And the reason we wanted the big holes is, like I said, the worms are going to go in here, and they are going to eat some of that. Plus, that lettuce mix is going to go into your container garden. Now, one thing you never, ever, ever want to put in a vermicompost container garden is perennials. Anything that does not want to be dug up, because you need to, every 6 months, which is pretty much our season here in Washington, you are going to want to dig this out, harvest the worm castings, and, take the worms out and fill it with fresh, unused, or fresh, refurbished, re-amended soil. So, I hope that helps somebody, encourages you to get out there and garden. This is literally in my bedroom, okay? So I don't want to hear, oh, I can't garden because I don't have space. I live on a 3rd floor. I have a very small balcony, and I have a lot of grow lights. But I have LED grow lights, and I make sure that I am very cautious with the excess lights and such being on. So y'all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one where we will be planting our seeds. Bye.